There's a version of you that people can't play with. Not because you're louder, not because you're more aggressive, not because you win every argument, but because you don't react the way they expect. You felt it before. That moment someone says something slick, a subtle disrespect, a backhanded comment, or even just being ignored, and suddenly your whole mood shifts. You start thinking, should I say something? Did they mean that? Am I being disrespected? And before you know it, they're in your head, controlling your emotions without even trying. That's the trap, and most people never escape it, because you were taught the wrong definition of strength. You were taught, speak up immediately, defend yourself, always have a comeback, never let anything slide. But let me tell you the truth nobody says out loud. Reacting doesn't make you powerful, it makes you predictable. Before we go further, I want you to be honest with yourself. Have you ever let something small ruin your entire mood? Don't lie. Drop a yes in the comments if that's you. And predictable people are easy to control. There's a different way to move, a quieter way, a more dangerous way, a way where people think twice before testing you. Your presence speaks before you do, and most importantly, you're no longer emotionally available for nonsense. This isn't about becoming cold, it's about becoming untouchable. And today, we're breaking down the real principles behind that. Not surface-level motivation, but psychological laws that actually change how people experience you. Law 1. Your attention is your real power. Let's start with something simple, but dangerous if you ignore it. Most people think their most valuable asset is time. It's not. Because you can spend time doing something without actually being there mentally. Your real currency is attention. Where your attention goes, your life follows. Think about your average day. Be honest. How much of your mental energy goes into things like what someone said about you, a message you're waiting for, someone who ignored you, social media drama, imaginary arguments in your head? You're physically in one place, but mentally, everywhere. And that's exactly how people lose control of their lives. Not in one big moment, but in thousands of small leaks. Every time you react emotionally to something small, you're making a withdrawal from your focus, from your peace, from your power. And what do you get in return? Nothing. Let's make it real. You're at work. A colleague makes a subtle jab. You're just lucky that project worked out. Now your mind starts spinning. Was that shade? Should I respond? I should have said something smarter. Hours later, you're still thinking about it. Meanwhile, they've already forgotten they even said it. That's how energy gets stolen. Powerful people don't let that happen. Not because they're emotionless, but because they're selective. They don't give attention automatically, they invest it. Before they react, they ask one question: is this worth my energy? Not, will I look weak? What will people think? Just, is this deserve access to my mind? And if the answer is no, they move on, immediately. No overthinking, no replaying, no emotional attachment. That's discipline. Because here's the truth most people avoid. Everything you react to trains people how to treat you. If you react to everything, people learn this person is easy to trigger.
If you only react to what matters, people learn you can't easily get to this person, and that changes everything. Law 2. Silence is not weakness. Let's fix one of the biggest lies you've been told. Silence is not losing. Silence is control. But most people panic in silence because they feel like, if I don't respond, I look weak. So they rush to explain, to defend, to prove something. And in doing that, they give away power. Let's break it down. Someone disrespects you. You immediately react, raise your voice, defend yourself, try to win.
What just happened? You entered their frame. You accepted their invitation. You played their game. Even if you win the argument, you've already lost something. You showed them, I can be pulled in. Now try the opposite. Same situation, same disrespect, but this time you say nothing. No reaction. No explanation, no emotional shift, just calm, and you move on. Now what happens? Their brain gets confused because they expected something, a reaction, a fight, a response, but they got nothing. And that nothing, it bothers people more than any insult ever could. Because now they're thinking, did it not affect them? Did they even care? Am I not important enough to respond to? That's psychological pressure. Silence creates uncertainty, and uncertainty makes people uncomfortable. Meanwhile, you're at peace. And here's another layer most people don't understand. Every time you speak, you reveal something, what triggers you, what you care about, where your insecurities are. People study that, consciously or unconsciously. But when you stay silent, you give them nothing. No data, no weakness, no entry point. You become unreadable. And unreadable people are very hard to manipulate. Quick question. Do you react instantly when someone disrespects you, or do you stay quiet? Type react or silent below. I want to see something. Now, understand this clearly. This doesn't mean you never speak. It means you don't speak out of emotion. You speak out of intention. When you do speak, it's calm, it's measured, it carries weight, because it's rare. Law 3. Stop being too available. This one will hit a bit harder because most people are guilty of it. You're too available, too easy to reach, too quick to respond, too willing to adjust your life for others. And you think that makes you kind, loyal, valuable. But in reality, it often makes people take you for granted. Think about it. If someone knows you'll always reply instantly, you'll always be there, you'll always say yes. Law 4. The power of non-reaction. Let's go deeper, because this is where most people fail, even after they understand everything we just talked about. It's one thing to know you shouldn't react. It's another thing to actually control yourself in the moment. Because real life doesn't come gently. It comes like this. Someone talks over you in a group. Someone disrespects you in public. Someone posts something clearly aimed at you. Someone you care about suddenly becomes cold. And in that moment, you feel it. That rush, that heat in your chest, that urge to do something,
say something, fix it, respond. That's the moment that decides everything. Not everyone will understand this mindset, but if you do, this channel is for you. Subscribe to Neuphoria. We're building something different here. Because most people lose right there. They react, not because they want to, but because they feel like they have to. And that's exactly how control is taken from you. Let's break it down psychologically. Whenever someone provokes you, whether intentionally or not, they are trying to create a reaction. Why? Because reaction equals influence. The moment you react emotionally, they know they've affected you. And once someone knows they can affect you, they have a level of control over you. Now here's where it gets interesting. The human brain works on something called a feedback loop. Action, reaction, closure. So when someone throws a jab, they expect a response. That response closes the loop. But when you don't react, the loop stays open. And that open loop starts to disturb them. They replay it in their head. Why didn't they respond? Did it not work? Did they not care? Did I look stupid? And just like that, the pressure shifts. Now they're the one thinking about you, while you've already moved on. That's real power. Let's make this real. You post something online. Someone comments something disrespectful. The old version of you replies immediately, tries to defend, tries to prove something. Now you're in a back and forth, energy drained, mood ruined. The new version of you sees it and does nothing. No reply, no like.
No subtle response, just silence. Now that person keeps checking. Did they see it? Why didn't they reply? They wanted attention. You gave them none. Game over. Another scenario. You're in a conversation. Someone throws a subtle insult, trying to test you. Most people laugh nervously or fire back quickly. But you just look at them, pause, and continue the conversation like it never mattered. That pause alone speaks louder than anything you could have said, because now they feel it. They don't know if you ignored it on purpose, you didn't take them seriously, or they just failed. And that uncertainty, it eats at people. Here's the key shift you need. Not every situation deserves a reaction, and more importantly, most situations lose power when ignored. But this takes discipline, because your ego will fight you. It will say, "Don't let that slide. You look weak. Say something now." But understand this, your ego wants immediate satisfaction. Your power comes from long-term control. So the next time something happens, pause. Don't rush. Don't react instantly. Let the moment pass through you instead of controlling you. That's how you take your power back. Let me ask you something real. Who is one person in your life that drains your energy but you haven't cut off yet? Don't say their name, just type "I know" in the comments. Law 5. Know who to cut off and do it cleanly. Now let's talk about something harder, because this isn't about strangers. This is about people close to you. And this is where most people stay stuck for years. Not everyone in your life is meant to stay. And deep down, you already know who they are. But you keep them around because you have history. You feel guilty. You don't want conflict.
or you're hoping they'll change. They won't. And the longer you delay, the more it costs you. Because energy is limited, and every wrong person in your life takes space from the right ones. Let's break this down into 3 types of people you need to watch carefully. 1. The hidden opponent. These are people who smile with you, laugh with you, but secretly compete with you.
They downplay your wins. They highlight your mistakes. They support you, but with hesitation. And you feel it. Something always feels slightly off. These people don't need confrontation. They don't need drama. They need distance. Quiet distance. Because engaging them only brings you to their level. The real move: outgrow them silently. Let your success speak. Let your distance say everything. 2. The constant critic. These are people who never build anything, never take risks, but always have something to say about you. They analyze your moves, judge your decisions, question your growth. But when you look at their life, they're stuck. These people don't want to improve. They want you to slow down. Because your progress makes them uncomfortable. And here's the truth. You don't need validation from people who aren't doing better than you. You don't argue with them. You don't explain yourself. You simply stop giving them access. No debates, no long explanations, just less of you. 3. The energy drainer. This one is the most dangerous because it looks like care, but it feels like exhaustion. These are people who always have problems, always need your time, always bring negativity. Every conversation drains you. Every interaction leaves you tired. And somehow you feel guilty pulling away. But here's the reality. Some people don't want solutions. They want attention. And you've been giving it over and over again, at your own expense. Listen carefully. You cannot grow in an environment that constantly drains you. And helping someone shouldn't destroy you. So, what do? You don't announce it. You don't make a big speech. You slowly respond less, engage less, give less access, until they no longer have the same hold on you. That's how you cut people off properly. Not with noise, but with consistency. The truth most people avoid. Cutting people off isn't about being cold. It's about being selective. Because if you don't choose who gets access to you, the wrong people will choose themselves. And once they're in, they drain you slowly, emotionally, mentally, even physically. So you have to make a decision. Do you want to be liked by everyone or respected by the right people? Because you can't have both. And the moment you start choosing yourself, you'll notice something interesting. Some people will fall away, not because you changed, but because you stopped tolerating what you used to accept. And that's growth. Law 6. Build a mind that can't be controlled. Let's be honest for a second. The reason people can get under your skin is not because they're powerful. It's because there's something inside you they can touch, a trigger, an insecurity, a need. And once someone finds that, they don't need strength to control you. They just need precision. You've seen it happen. Someone says one sentence, and your whole mood changes. You were fine a second ago, focused, calm, in control. Then suddenly, you're angry, you're defensive, you're overthinking, you're replaying everything. That's not random. That's a lack of control over your internal state. And most people live like this every day. They think they're in control, but their emotions are being controlled by people, situations, opinions, validation. That's not power. That's dependency. Real power is this: nothing outside of you gets to decide how you feel, unless you allow it. That's called emotional sovereignty. And if you don't build it, everything else we've talked about will collapse under pressure. So how do you actually develop it? Step 1. Know your triggers. You can't control what you don't understand. So you need to get honest. What actually triggers you? Is it being disrespected? Being ignored? Not being appreciated? Feeling replaced? Feeling like you're not enough? Because every time you react strongly, there's a deeper reason. It's not just what they said, it's what it means to you. For example, someone ignores your message. One person shrugs it off. Another person overthinks for hours. Same situation, different internal meaning. That meaning is the trigger. So you need to start observing yourself. Not judging, not reacting, just noticing.
Step 2. Create space between feeling and action. This is where most people fail. They feel something and immediately act on it. Anger, reaction, embarrassment, withdrawal, insecurity, over-explaining. No pause, no control, just impulse. But powerful people do something different. They pause, even if it's just for a few seconds, because in that pause you regain control. Instead of reacting automatically, you start responding intentionally. Someone says something disrespectful. Old you, instant reaction. Tone changes, energy shifts, you're in it. New you feel it, but you don't move immediately. You pause, and in that pause you ask, is reacting going to improve this or just satisfy my ego? Most of the time, it's just your ego. And when you don't feed it, you stay in control. Step 3. Desensitize yourself. This is the long game, because some things trigger you simply because you're not used to them. Criticism, rejection, disrespect, being misunderstood. If you avoid these things, they stay powerful. But if you keep facing them repeatedly, calmly, they lose their effect. Think about it like this. The first time someone criticizes you, it hits hard. But if you keep improving, Keep exposing yourself. Keep hearing it. Eventually, it stops affecting you the same way. Not because people changed, but because you did. You built resistance. And once you reach that point, people lose their ability to control you, because their usual tactics don't work anymore. And when someone can't affect you, they either respect you or leave you alone. Both are wins. The shift that changes everything. You stop asking, "Why are they doing this to me?" and start asking, "Why does this affect me?" That question alone changes your entire life, because now you're working on the only thing you actually control, yourself.
Now this is the highest level, because it goes against everything you've been taught. You've been conditioned to believe you must respond, you must defend, you must prove yourself, you must act immediately. But the truth is, most battles are distractions, and every time you engage in them, you lose energy for what actually matters. Let's look at real scenarios. Scenario 1. Rumors. Someone is talking about you, spreading things that aren't true. Your instinct: fix it, explain yourself, clear your name. But here's what actually happens when you do that. You give the rumor more attention. You look affected. You lose emotional control. Now try the opposite. You do nothing. You keep showing up, working, improving, living. No explanations, no panic. What happens over time? Reality speaks. People who matter, they see through it, and people who believe rumors were never on your side anyway. Scenario 2. Competition. Someone is trying to compete with you, watching you, copying you, trying to outdo you. Your instinct: outperform them, prove you're better. But the moment you do that, you've entered a race you didn't need. Now your moves are influenced by them. That's not control, that's reaction. The real move is ignore them. Stay focused on your path, your pace, your standards. Because if you're not competing, there is no competition. Scenario 3. Proving yourself. This one is subtle. Trying to prove your worth to people who already decided how they see you. You explain more, you try harder, you overextend. But no matter what you do, it's never enough. Why? Because you're trying to change a fixed perception, and that's a losing game. The real power move is stop proving, start building. Let results speak, let silence speak, let consistency speak. Because people don't respect explanations, they respect outcomes. Strategic inaction. This is what separates busy people from powerful people. Busy people react to everything. Powerful people choose carefully. They understand not every situation needs action. Not every problem needs solving. Not every comment needs a response. Sometimes the strongest move is do nothing. When you stop reacting, people reveal themselves. This is something nobody tells you. When you stop reacting, you start seeing people clearly. The ones who needed your attention, needed your validation, needed your emotional responses, they get uncomfortable because they lost access. And that's when their real behavior shows. Some will try harder to provoke you, act differently, distance themselves. Let them, because that's information. That shows you who was there for you
and who was there for your reactions. And once you see that clearly, you stop forcing connections. You stop overextending. You stop giving energy where it's not respected. Your peace becomes your power. This is the part most people never reach because it requires discipline. Not reacting when you want to, not explaining when you feel misunderstood, not engaging when your ego is screaming. That's not easy, but that's what builds power. Real power isn't loud. It doesn't need to prove anything. It doesn't chase attention. It sits, calm, unbothered, unshaken. And over time, that calm becomes something else. It becomes presence. The kind of presence where people think twice before disrespecting you. People respect your space without you asking. People feel your boundaries without you saying a word. Not because you forced it, but because you became it. You don't need to win every moment. Let go of that idea. You don't need to have the last word, win every argument, correct every misunderstanding. Because the moment you try to win everything, you lose focus on what actually matters. Your growth, your peace, your direction. Some things are not meant to be corrected. They're meant to be ignored. Some people are not meant to understand you. They're meant to be left behind. And some situations don't need your energy. They need your absence. This is how you become untouchable. Not by force, not by aggression, not by becoming cold, but by mastering one thing: where your energy goes. Because that's your real power. Not money, not status, not opinions. Your energy, your attention, your emotional control. Guard that, and everything else follows. Lose that, and nothing else matters.
The next time someone tries to provoke you, pause. The next time you feel the urge to explain yourself, stay silent. The next time you feel disrespected, ask yourself, does this even deserve me? And if the answer is no, walk away. Not angrily, not dramatically, just calmly. Because that calm, that's what they can't control. That's what they can't understand. And that's what makes you different. You don't become powerful when you control others. You become powerful when others can no longer control you. Now move differently. If this video changed how you think, even a little, don't keep it to yourself. Like the video, subscribe to Neuphoria, and share this with someone who needs to hear it.